Hello and welcome to this episode of the Sticky Note Marketing Show. I'm your host, Mary Czarnecki, and today I am so excited to introduce you to our guest expert, Chantal Cornelius. And Chantal is going to be sharing with us some keys to success when it comes to being a standout success. So she has a new book. She's going to be revealing some of those golden nuggets that are in that book, just especially for you guys listening and watching today. And if you don't know Chantal, she set up her business, which is called AppleTree Marketing, in 2000, and since then has helped hundreds of coaches, consultants, and speakers grow their businesses. So welcome so much. So happy to have you here, Chantal, and thanks for being our guest expert today.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
So I know there are definitely people listening and watching who are familiar with you, familiar with your work at AppleTree Marketing. But for those who may be meeting you for the first time, can you tell us just a little bit about why you developed the practice that you are growing now?
It was a complete accident. I hadn't planned it at all. Yeah, about 30 years ago, I got a job in marketing because I needed a job and I was offered a job. And I discovered that I really enjoyed it and learned more and more about it. But about 5 years later, I also discovered that I'm not very good at working for other people. So in 2000, I set up on my own. And I've been going ever since and just learning more about marketing all the time, more about people and customer service and connections and relationships. And it's changed a lot in 25 years, but I'm still loving it and still doing it.
Amazing. Well, so excited that you're here to share your expertise with us today. Now, I know, like I mentioned, you have a new book out, Standout Strategies. So tell us a little bit about that. What are Standout Strategies? Where does that come from?
Standout Strategies it's a book I've been working on for 9 years. I started researching it in 2015, and it came about because I kept hearing people, business owners, particularly coaches, say the same thing when I would say to them, what's your USP? What's your unique selling point? Because that's what we focused on back then. And they would all say the same thing. And that got me thinking there must be a better way of working out how to stand out in business. I started researching it. I started digging into it, going to workshops and seminars, reading around the subject a lot, listening to other people. And what I realized is that actually this isn't rocket science. We buy from people that we like and trust, don't we? Yeah, we have a connection with them. What a lot of people don't realize is how that connection is formed, and it's done through emotions. So I might walk into a networking event or a meeting, and I might look at somebody and go, without even realizing, I might go, oh, I don't actually think I like that person. I haven't spoken to them. They've not said anything. Nothing's happened. But my subconscious brain has gone, no, don't trust them for whatever reason. And our subconscious brains are dangerous things. We make 95% of our decisions subconsciously. We do it emotionally, quite often irrationally, and we don't even realize we're doing it. The rational brain then jumps in with 5% goes, oh, well, yes, they're wearing an orange jumper. I say that because I'm wearing an orange sweater. So I don't trust them. So the emotional, irrational side makes the decision, and the rational side jumps in and says, boom, but.
Fantastic. All right. So I know that one of the things that I wanted to dig into and know a little bit more about what's going on inside that book that you've got, that Standout Strategies, is specifically what happens when people don't build the emotional connection. So I know that's one of the things you really focus on is it's not just about what we're able to provide as a coach, as a consultant, as a speaker. A lot of times we get so in love with the thing we do that sometimes we forget to build that deeper connection. So help me understand what you're seeing when you're working with your clients. Where do they get stuck and how do you help them get out of that trap?
It's a brilliant question. Yeah, looking at when we don't build emotional connections, that's when it goes wrong. There are lots of examples. So you might meet somebody where you just don't feel completely comfortable with them and you don't know why. It may be that your gut's going, oh, I'm not sure about this person, but you push on and work with them anyway. And quite often, well, for me, definitely when that's happened, I've ended up not doing my best work for them. Maybe they don't pay on time. They quibble over everything. They're not happy with the result. I'm not happy with the result. So we haven't got that emotional connection right from the start. And that often happens. I see it a lot in very new businesses. I did it myself many years ago when I was thinking, I really need this new client. They may not be perfect for me, but I'm going to work with them anyway. And I actually now have a list of rules on the wall in my office of the AppleTree rules and if I'm talking to a potential client and they don't tick the majority of them, then I don't work with them. So I see that a lot with new businesses. I also see it with businesses who maybe have had a bit of a slump, maybe things aren't going so well, they might be a bit desperate, they'll take on any sort of work. But I also see it with business owners who don't actually know who their target market is. They think that they can work with anyone with a pulse and a credit card. And actually, that's not true. A lot of people think that if you specialize too much and go down a really, really narrow track, then you lose business on either side. But actually, what happens is when you become known for doing one or two things, then those people come and find you. I get phone calls and emails from people saying, "Oh, you're the person who specializes in coaches, aren't you?" And I say, "Yes. I also specialize in working with speakers." And that's fine. But some people say, "Oh, you specialize in working with speakers." Yes, I do. Great. Let's have a conversation. So those are sort of some examples of when there isn't the right emotional connection. And it's all based on this subconscious level of connection I spoke about earlier.
Well, and that's so interesting too, because I think I hear it a lot, right? Exactly what you were just talking about. Oh, I'm going to turn money away, or I can't say no
Mhm.
to clients, especially if they're in a part of their business where they're trying to grow.
Mm.
So what have you said to people, or how have you helped people overcome that? Because I'm guessing that there are some people listening and watching to this episode that said, oh, yeah, I know I should
Mm.
narrow my focus, but Chantal, I just can't say no to revenue right now.
You've just got to be brave. And I know it's easy for me to say that after 25 years in business, but the more you narrow your focus, the more you will attract the right sort of customers and the more you can charge because they want you. The majority of my work comes to me through recommendations or people meeting me at a networking event or seeing me speak. And people come along and go, "I want to work with you." And I might say, "Well, I'm terribly sorry, I'm too busy for the next 2 months. Can I pay you extra?" Okay, but I still don't work at weekends. So definitely it is a brave step, but when you narrow your focus, you can then command higher fees because you're saying, "Look, I only work with these people and my time is limited, precious." Let me give you a quick example, Mary. When I was first researching the material for the book for Standout Strategies, I originally thought there were 6 strategies. There are 5. I had to ditch one. But I thought that people came to work with me and my business because they thought marketing was fun and exciting and they really wanted to grow their businesses. If you're not in marketing, marketing is not fun or exciting. I love it, but I've been doing it forever. So I was pushing for bigger growth for my customers. At the time, I had a team of mostly quite young people working with me, fabulous bunch of people, all super keen on social media. And podcasts weren't really around very much back then, but there was a lot of social media coming and videos and blogging and all sorts. And we were constantly going to customers and going, "Right, what do you want next? Do you want a video? Do you want a blog? Do you want this, that, the other?" And it wasn't working. And clients were actually leaving. And one day it kind of hit me, the light bulb hit me on the head. And I started asking my clients what they wanted from me and why they worked with me. And they said, "You are a safe pair of hands." They said, "Chantal, you and your business, you just get the work done and you bring us results and you bring us new clients." One of them actually said, "I don't even care how you do it, but you bring me results. That's what I pay you for." Now that is the strategy that I call certainty, safe pair of hands, as opposed to growth, which is about growing businesses or people. And when I realized that, I stopped trying to go for growth because I realized that I had this fabulous group of clients who wanted a safe pair of hands. So we ditched all the trying to sell them lots of other stuff they didn't need. We focused on really, really looking after them, and they spent more money with us and they recommended us to the right people. So I actually managed to grow the business by saying, "I'm not going to do all of that over there, all the growth work, we're just going to go down the certainty route. So that's just another example of how it works when you get more focused.
I think that's a great reminder. So if you're listening or watching to this, hopefully you have your sticky note out because Chantal is going to be sharing some gold nuggets just like that, which is when was the last time you actually asked those customers or those clients that are the most meaningful to your business, what really matters to your business,
Yeah.
right?
We don't ask enough. And I think it's probably because we're a bit scared of what they might say. And actually, it was the best thing I could have done to be saying to customers, what are we doing wrong? What do you like?
Yeah.
We have to get that feedback. We have to just get brave and ask them because you never know, something fabulous might come out of it.
Amazing.
Hmm.
Now, we talked a bit about the emotional connection, that there has to be focus, there has to be clarity in terms of who you want to work with and who you're attracting into your business. Let's talk a little bit more about that traditional USP that doesn't work, right? How do we avoid sounding like everyone else who also wants to talk to that audience? How do you help your clients make sure that they come up with something that is unique, but yet unique for them, not just
Yeah.
sounding like something they should sound like, but something that truly
Mhm.
does represent them?
Yeah, there is too much people sounding how they think they should sound. What I do is I start by getting my clients to take a test, which is on the website, which if we want to direct people to, we can. And it's about asking your customers. So I ask my clients to ask their clients why people work with them and how they feel when they work with them. The feeling bit is really important. So they will say to their clients, how do you feel when you work with me? And they listen to the answers. There's then a whole bunch of words on this test page on my website, and I get them to tick no more than 15. We then take those ticked words and we run it through some software, and it produces a result and a report which shows them which of the 5 strategies is the right one for them. So these strategies are not, it's not about using all of them, it's about finding the one, sometimes 2, but majority of cases it's 1 to use. What we've also done through the research is associated a whole bunch of words, emotions, feelings to each of the strategies. When you know which is the right strategy for your business, you can then see what language to use, and then you can use that language in your marketing, your sales, your customer service. That makes sense?
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. And we'll definitely, for those of you who are raring to go with the assessment, we're definitely going to include a link to Chantal's website with this. So please definitely take her up on that invitation to do your own assessment.
As I was say, it took a long time working out what the language was, what the words were to go with each of the 5 strategies. But when you know what language to use, that's where you get the emotional connection. When I have a sales call with a potential client, they might say, what am I going to get from working with you? And I will say, well, I'm very straight talking. There's no fluff, there's no jargon. I'll just tell you like it is. And I also say, I'll help you work out clarity of your marketing message using the right language, and I'll give you the confidence to shout about it. Now, clarity and confidence are 2 really important certainty words, and my clients use them all the time. So by weaving those words into the conversation, I'm gently getting into the subconscious of my potential client. They go, oh, that's what I want. Yes, please. When do I start?
But exactly, those are the ones that your people care about, right? So someone
Yeah.
else's ideal client may have different words that they're looking for.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's great because I can go to a networking event, and if somebody is saying to me, oh, I'm looking for somebody who can really energize my business and inspire me and motivate me, I'm going, well, that's not me. Nope, it's not how I do marketing. Or if somebody says, I want really rapid growth, nope, not me. Walk away. Or I'll put them in touch with somebody who is the right person. And it means that my sales conversations are much easier because I'm not constantly chasing after the wrong people. I can very quickly go, okay, no, don't need to go there. I'm focusing on this one here.
Yeah, well, be honest with yourselves. If you're listening or watching this episode and you've done that, you've felt that compulsion of like, well, I know in my heart of hearts this is not the right client for me, but I'm just going to say yes and see how it goes, right? We've all been there.
I've done it. I've done it. Yeah. And one day I'll learn to stop doing it. I'm getting better at not doing it by listening to that language. So
Amazing. Do you have a favorite story? I'm just curious of someone that you've worked with that, like many people, may have been using the wrong language. And then once they were able to work with you to identify it, saw that shift, kind of had that aha moment of, oh, well, I've been attracting all these wrong people because I've been saying the wrong thing.
I do. I have a gorgeous story. I have a wonderful client called Tara who I've been working with for about 6 to 8 months, I think. Tara's a coach. She's very spiritual. She's quite out there. She's too far out there for some people. She works with predominantly women looking at senses and seasons and circadian rhythms. And for a long time, she was trying to promote herself to everybody, men, women, young, old, all sorts. Now, when you're quite spiritual, like Tara is, there are people who go, oh, no, that's not for me. And that's absolutely fine. But she found that she was chasing after these people going, no, I can help you. I can help you. What we're looking at here is preaching to the converted. We want the people who go, I want that. Tara and I actually went for a walk. She lives quite close to me, and we went for a really lovely walk, and I recorded it all on my phone, and we turned what she said into some fabulous material. But we also worked out that the strategy that she needs to use for her business is the one called growth. This is about inspiring, energizing. She's all about personal development, not so much business, but personal. So we started weaving the words into her marketing and her sales. I actually went to a workshop that Tara ran a couple of months ago, and I booked because it was her. It was actually all about preparing for the winter. It was run late November. I'm usually fine in the winter, but something in me went, you need to go on this workshop. So my subconscious, I can't believe I tricked myself into it. It was brilliant. My subconscious is going, hang on, you helped her write the wording, and I'm saying you need to go on this workshop. It was fabulous. She's running another one next month. And she messaged me to say, I'm about to send out the information. I said, book me on. I want a place. She said, it's twice the price of last time. I don't care. Book me on the workshop. She's like, why? I said, I don't know.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that story about Tara. And I think that epiphany of saying, oh, I was using the wrong language. I was chasing after people who, could she have helped them? Probably. But
Yeah,
to your point, that would have taken so much more energy for her to chase down, to convert, to attract, than to sell to the people who really were ready for her. I know that there are people who are listening here who have been in that position where they felt like they've been chasing after people, and finding the right words can just be so freeing, because now all of a sudden you can see yourself through the eyes of people who actually do want exactly what you have and who are ready for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. So if you're listening to this and watching this, we are definitely going to include the link to that assessment. So please take Chantal up on her offer. Make sure that you're not using the wrong words and attracting the wrong people to your business. So Chantal, for those of our audience here who are ready to take the next step, obviously the quiz is a great place to get started. But what is the best place to connect with you online to answer some of the questions that may have come up for them?
You can find me on LinkedIn. If you look at the spelling of my name that will be in the show notes, I am the only one, I'm the only Chantal Cornelius with that spelling in the UK on LinkedIn. And you can also find my website, which is appletreeuk.com. Come and say hello.
Amazing. And if you had one parting gift for our friends and our listeners today, one parting thought, a good reminder that they need to definitely make sure is on their sticky note today, what might that be?
That would be talk to your clients. Yeah, it's that simple. Ask them, how are we doing? What do you like? What don't you like? How do you feel when you work with us? And some people say to me, oh, I talk to my clients on a monthly basis when I have a coaching call. That's not what I'm talking about. Pick up the phone randomly and say, hi, it's me. How are you? How's it going? Can I have a couple of minutes of your time? So keep it away from when you're actually delivering. Keep it friendly. And yeah, just ask and let them know that you want honest feedback, because that's what helps us develop and move on.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us here on the Sticky Note Marketing Show today. And for all of those of you listening and watching, thank you for joining us here on this episode. Thank you, Chantal, for sharing with us.
Thank you, Mary.
All right, for those of you who are listening, let us know. What do you want to learn next? Reach out to me and my team. Contact information is with this episode, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Sticky Note Marketing Show.